Oh, there you go.
Sweet. I
Craig's
guess you're recording, huh?
Yeah.
I was just going to kind of sit in the background and, if you guys got questions, I can answer them. But I just kind of wanted to go down. You guys kind of have questions and stuff that you guys want to see, or you just want me to kind of just load the game and show you what I've been doing?
Yeah, I think that's kind of a good thing. Like, what are you currently focusing on?
Okay. I won't go into the code right now because what I'm doing is a bunch of different things inside the code and stuff right now.
Oh, that
Yeah.
sounds good.
So, I am making that one. I will put that out so everybody knows. I'm making. I did modify. I added one command that allows you to now do doesn't build a resource inside a province. It makes it more efficient. Stuff because everybody was just building. They were doing scripts to build another resource there, and I'm going to say why. If you just modify the efficiency, it doesn't take a full. So if I got like Venezuela, let's say I have a province with one oil in it. If I build another one, then that's two oil in there. But if I go ahead and allow a tech to, like the oil techs, to modify that by 0.01, 1.2 or 1.1% in that, where you couldn't do that before. So it's just the efficiencies stuff. So I did another thing that's calling, and I'll just kind of go here. Let me just open up this real quick, the editor, and let's just take this one. I believe right now in the code, I can actually go to that right now. It has, see, hack, improve light armor. I didn't put this in. This is from a while back. You guys will recognize it as soon as I start describing it. When you got to the second light tank and you had that, you built one, then what would happen is it would jump and go over and become a medium tank automatically. That's what this code did.
After it was upgraded.
Yeah, you remember how it upgraded that way? So that's what this code did. So I said, what we need to do is have something so that when we do something like here, when you run out of a line of something, you can jump over to another line so you don't lose that. You don't have to turn around and lose that manpower, put it back into the production queue and start all over. So you basically, the way I look at it is you're taking the manpower from this and moving it over to, you're giving them a new airplanes, and now they're going to be CAS airplanes. Same thing with like your naval. Your naval will go down into the ASW and stuff like this. And as you do with the transport, stuff like this. So what they'll do is they'll allow you to, when one line finishes, to move over to the other one. I did that mostly a lot for modders, so that, I was thinking, what happens if someone does do a World War one? Because a lot of people like that. I forgot the mod that's out there for World War One. And in there you had observation balloons, and then they moved to zeppelins. In 1940, it was kind of like, you didn't use zeppelins during World War II for observation. So where would those go? But you need those for those World War One. If someone's doing a World War One scenario or mod, you need those techs there. So I was thinking of that. Then I thought, later on too, when you start getting away from where the interceptors and fighters, the interceptors pretty much go away and turn into fighters, the multi-role fighters. So, so it would work on that end. So I'm coming up with one that's called a crossover one. And it's basically here. So it's basically, it'll be just a command, it'll just be a crossover, X over. And then you put in the division type that it's coming from. So in this scenario, we would be talking about 48 tactical bomber, and then the model number, which would be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, actually 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It'd be model 7, and it would go over to the cast, and that would be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, over to 9 for the model. Then what I do is I can compare those two files, those specific models, and say, okay, what is it going to take? So I compare the upgrade stat that's in there and the time stat for it to upgrade, and I see what the difference is. Most of them are going to be exactly the same because no one ever changes those stupid stats. But if there is a difference, it'll use that difference to be able to upgrade over to the other one. So that's what that one's going to be. So this will be available stuff probably by the end of today. I'm just playing with it right now. So,
nice.
Just more feasibility. So if you guys, all of a sudden you're sitting there and you're doing something, reading a book or something, you get this idea that says, "Hey, I need," what would be great is if we had this for modders. So, and then I can look at it and see how simple it is. This one's going to be fairly simple to do. So I'm going to go ahead and throw it in there, and it really helps, and it helps me out a lot too because now I can move these over. Stop. The other thing is I haven't worked on it, but I have, and it's in paper form right now. I did a flow chart of doing the SLBMs, sub-launch ballistic missiles. And once I do that, there's 4 different paths to do and a bunch of that. Like I said, I hand did it on a notepad. It will also translate over for the DGGs, the guided missile destroyers. Okay, so basically flying bombs will move over. I'm gonna just put the base work in right now. I'm not gonna do it until 1.14, but since I'm in the code, I'm gonna add that code. So that when you go to the advanced, when you come up out of here, you got the flying bombs. It goes to your missiles that go onto your airplanes. But the flying bomb would also have another one that would go down, and it would be your for your guided missiles off a destroyer. So your land-to-land stuff. The strategic rocket, actually the ICBM, which is in 1951, is going to then jump and it'll start the SLBM, sub-launch ballistic missiles and stuff. Okay, and stuff. So I'm going to be adding new stats just to let you know on those because it's going to be. I was going to try to convert air units over. I says, the best thing to do is to kind of convert the air units over, but since you're limited to basically 10 attachments, I think 10 attachments, I think is the limit. Yeah.
Oh yeah, on the production screen.
How are you going to get the subs that have 10 is pretty low nowadays for missiles and stuff. So I'm going to run a stat in there that it'll be a ICBM, but it'll be number of rockets. I don't know, number of missiles, something like that. So that's how I'm going to do that. But,
right. Yeah.
That's way far out. So right now I'm not so concerned about that. So let's go ahead.
Yeah, and I'm just not sure how you can balance rockets anyway.
I sat down and I had to just do it on a notepad stuff. The same thing with even though I added that right mouse button click in to be able to build in the options to be able to build in puppets or allies or both. It does. I have to then go in there and get the contingencies. So I have contingencies like, well, what happens if the puppet doesn't become a puppet anymore? Is it still an ally? What happens if the ally is not an ally anymore? What happens if when it finishes, whoever finishes one of the things first, I got to make sure that I go check the other countries that are building in that same province and update their builds to maybe even it's done. You know what I'm saying? Because you got a max of 20 there, of 200%. I mean, and stuff. So there's all those. So I haven't put all that logic in because there's 5 different things I have to check for in that one stuff. So, and that's a lot of code. So let's go ahead and launch the game. I'm going to go ahead and launch it from here because it launches quicker than going through the dev environment and stuff. So, and I'm at VTXU. You guys don't have that yet. Stuff. We're going to probably get some errors right now. But let me see. We can go down. Let's go ahead and pick a just for right now, let's go ahead and pick something like French Mandate. Let's go ahead and go into options first. Well, Italian Libya. Let's try Italian Libya. Because I got all of that one done with the nice. So let's go to the options. So if we go to the options, you can see.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'm not cheating. It's because when you test, I want it as weak as possible. These are going to be the, well, these should be normal for defaults. The rest of it, this one's going to be not slow. It's the third one up on the list. Yeah. And the
Or
rest
below
of these
normal?
are going to be, the end date will be scenario. Okay, so this is the one that I've been playing with. So now we have a 1928. We always had a 1940 and a 46. 52, 58, but I added in 1928, I added in 1975 and 1989 again. So this one's kind of based on the end of the Vietnam War. Kind of try to pick dates that were historically something. This one's the end of the Cold War stuff, but the default will be this.
Yeah.
Full IC takeover. Oh, I was playing with that. That one's going to be off. IC takeover's off. Historic deaths, I leave on. Historical events outcome. I don't like that, but people can change these. But as you can see, master can build in puppets. So masters can build in puppets will always be on. Allies can build in allies. That will be off. But as you can see, as simple as it is to change it. So you just accept it. Okay, now we can go ahead and start the game, and I might get some. Oh, didn't get no conflicts yet. So let's go ahead and pull this out a bit to there.
No problems.
I just went too quick. Like I said, it might crash because it's me actually working on some things in this game right now. Some of the scripts and stuff like that. So
right.
Stuff,
yeah. Okay.
But I found that if I kind of just, even though it's got some errors in it, if I just go ahead and, which will be, when I give them to you guys, it doesn't have any errors. Right now I'm actually editing leader files and minister files and stuff like that. So if I go like this, go kind of slow, go here, and go over here, I can start looking at things and stuff like that. So if you look at the technologies here, stuff, nothing's really changed on any of this stuff right now. So.
Yeah, what was that talk with like mechanized divisions? Like, what is the general thinking? So, like,
I think what it is
mechanized division's
people,
not a thing,
is the discussion I had on that was let me go back to that mechanized one. Where was that at? I forgot. I think it's underneath. Maybe it was here.
Maybe ideas of improvement, was it?
Yeah. So where he brings up a great idea, people the players are thinking that, it's a half tracks, that everybody had half tracks. No, you know what I'm saying? That every unit in that division had a half track. No, not really. And stuff. And then I kind of confirm what he kind of said is like, basically the perception about the mechanized is that they're all half tracks. They're getting hung, and players get hung up on that. And those that kind of haven't served in the military just don't know how that kind of works. So, it's basically how you get to the battlefield, not how you fight on the battlefield. Nowadays, the mechanized units with the 8 armored personnel carriers, because the armored personnel carriers now have more, they've gone from a 50 cal machine gun now to a, you got BMPs, they're running 100 millimeter cannons to, and stuff, the Bradleys, 76 and stuff. And you got all these different ones now. Yeah, they do help combat multiply. But back in World War II, they were pretty much just how you get into the battlefield, you know, stuff. And most of them were still LPCs, the leather personnel carriers. You know, you're going to walk into battle. You still have to dismount. You got the infantry still fights on the ground and stuff, not from their vehicles. Even the Russians, the reason why you have AKMs, the folding stock on the AK rifles, is that tells you it's one or two units. It's either an airborne unit or it's a mechanized unit, because they can actually they have ports that they can sit inside their APCs, the BTRs and the BMPs, and actually shoot from inside. And the reason why the folding stocks are there is because theirs is so compact that if you had a full stock that wasn't folding, you couldn't fire inside. That's how skinny and tight they are and stuff. So stuff like that. But even they don't sit in there, because a 50 cal round can go through like a M113 can go through one side and bounce around on the inside. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't like playing dodgeball with a 50 caliber round, bouncing all over the place. So no, everybody dismounts. Also, too, you don't put all your you don't group up in the infantry where like a hand grenade can take you out. That stuff. You're spread out to fight. So I think that's what was happening. People were skewing the numbers and making the mechanized so more powerful than they should be. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it should. Yeah. So it should start off with
they
a
do have
little
like
bit of
50%
softness,
softness,
reducing the
so
softness a bit, and then gradually increase until you get up to the APCs and stuff through the years, where there's a lot more survivability. Look at Ukraine with the Western equipment now. The survivability that you have now in those those APCs and stuff. But in World War II, that didn't exist that much. Just a slight advantage they should have over regular infantry. So I think that's what he's getting to, and kind of like what I was talking about here. Same thing with the CVs. This is something that we really got to look at when we do the naval, not just the subs, but is we need to look at the CVs and CVLs, man, and they need to be brought down a bit on what they give for power, because you have CVs and CVLs that without anything will be just as strong as a destroyer. And it's like, sorry, no, that doesn't work. Their power, they should have a little bit of power, like air defense or something like that, but nowhere near even a destroyer's air defense. Their power comes from the CAGs. You shouldn't be able to fill the CV and it have the same strength as a damn destroyer. That's just same thing with the subs. Now, I didn't tweak that much on the subs, so the subs shouldn't have much power itself either. It's the only place that it had was one deck gun, and then after 1945, they even got rid of those. The power for that should come from number one, the torpedoes, and number two, a bit the torpedo data computers. So. But let's go ahead and get back to this and just kind of. So that's the big difference between here. To bring up something that some people are talking about in the team is by adding more stuff in before we release a beta out. As long as it's not a brigade or a division unit that's getting upgraded, I'm fine. It's just that when let's look at the problem we had here. We added 1918, 1930 infantry. We had to bump everything up. Which means now the pictures, the descriptions,
it was such
the script, everything. You see what I'm saying? So I think we should lock that portion in. But if it's something like a land doctrine where we want to add something in where there's no units being made, you see what I'm saying? It's just numbers, and the same thing with like the advance or something like this. See, these, they create brigades. But something like this, so like this one, where it doesn't do nothing, but over here it does. I'm at the radar. Sorry, stuff. So, you see what I'm saying? As long as it doesn't create a brigade or a unit, there shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. While we're here, let's go ahead and go to the other statistics.
Yeah, it's a lot easier
here.
to add in. Yeah.
And we'll show you any of the National Army ones. And there we go. I screwed. Yeah, it's still bonkers, but I can get in there.
Cool. I was going to say, I thought that was
actually, I want to pick a
wasn't
major
it?
country for that, which has a lot more to look at. We'll just do England.
Okay.
One I've been using mostly. So let's just go ahead and go to statistics. National Army. And it's going to die on me because I'm playing with it right now. Okay. Yeah. So,
Oh,
let's see if
okay.
I can do it through here without it blowing up. It's got to build my preferences. I updated the preferences, so for the subs to build. Where's my 100s? Okay, right here. So what that does is that tells them. This is telling it to always to add these to whatever can have them, which is basically the subs. So subs, if a sub gets made, it's always going to be made with a torpedo attachment and fire control if it's available at that time. So let's get here.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know that AI, I
So
think, can like add escort brigades to bombers even without the tech being researched. But,
now this one does take a little bit while because I'm running stats on it and stuff. Yeah, no time does the game go over 1 gig. It usually sits right around 900 or 887. So, yeah, this is megabytes of RAM. Mm-hmm. And then you
is
can
that
see the
RAM?
CPU
I'm not good
process
with
going on.
computers. Or
So, I came
right,
in as
okay,
England,
yeah.
so let's go ahead and go here. And
nice.
Stats. You know what I'm actually going to do? I'm going to go back here and I'm just going to go ahead and let it go for a day. So it would be set to normal, would be the basic, but. Okay, now I can go to stats. National Army. Yeah, so that's where I'm actually. See, if I can try to continue, it's just going to keep on
violation.
erroring on me. So, all right. Once I get it fixed, I'll fix it. But for right now, let's go ahead and I'm going to kill this on stuff. But let's go back to this one. We can do it without the screen. But what it is well, you know what? I can just do it off my notes for myself. So the National Army needs to have 3 columns added. That's the reason why you see kind of crunched over on one side, a couple numbers standing on top of itself, and then one column has 2 zeros in it or something like that. Yeah. Yeah. Then when you get to the naval comparison, I got to add all those. So I add these, but I'll rename these to make them shorter, so I got room for the ones I'm adding.
Oh, yeah.
And then for the air, same thing. So you can see what I'm doing there. That'll work. Okay, so What else do you guys want to look at in here? Let me go ahead and load up the 36, or if we want to release things, we can go down here if we want to talk about some countries releasing. Poland is done. I meant the GGP is done. I made a new file called Administrative Districts.
Oh, nice.
I'm actually working on the Bohemian one right now, but all of this one is one that all of them calls. And if you notice, there's no country named in it, and it's not random. So you can only reach this by being called, and it deactivates all of the military units. And then activates at the end just the militias. So when the GGP gets right here, you'll see where the Germany releases general government of Poland. Okay. So it releases it. This is the provinces it gets initially. Okay. Always going to be a small chance that the AI might not release it, 5%. 95% of the time, it's going to be released. Someone trying to talk?
It's a scuba diver.
Yeah, let me see if
I'm hearing something that sounds like a dog or possibly somebody sleeping very noisily.
Yeah, that's Epoch Extra.
No, I still hear you. So, yeah.
Is he muted for everyone now?
So
or?
Yeah, he should be.
Who was that?
I can hear, but
yeah, if you can right click on him to mute him. If it's that Epoch Extra, because I can hear, I heard him quite badly, and I thought I muted.
Where do I see that?
For everyone, but I guess apparently not.
Who's in? Yeah, where do I see the meeting? Usually,
it would be.
Oh, there we go. Okay,
yeah,
in the lobby.
on the left.
Okay.
If you scroll down.
Okay, yeah.
Like if you scroll down the channels, there you go.
I still heard it and
on,
stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we'll find out.
Oh yeah,
okay.
So yeah, he comes up as
let me go
muted
ahead and
for
get
you.
back to the game real quick here. So as you can see, I kind of just did that with the general government of Poland. Then because you can't do it in one step, you got to do it is release it, then puppet it. Then you come down here. This adds descent, but the big thing is it removes the cores. Now I did some testing with this and looked at the code. You can remove every single core of a country, and nobody has cores on it, and it works except for the capital. Whatever the capital is, it has to be a core. Otherwise, it errors. So what I did is only the capital has the core. Everything else is removed. So basically, what that does is that we don't have to manage the revolt risk or anything because it doesn't have a core. The revolt risk for each province is handled by the province just from the game mechanics already. So we don't have to go around and worry about, we need to make sure that this uprising is there, or that. You know what I'm saying? Stuff. So then we have the police units being done. That creates the police force, which what they had, and it was just basically militia units with military police brigades. And there's 2 events for that. There's that one, and then there's another one that actually once Barbarossa kicks off and the Polish Galician provinces come across to the GGP, then there's another one that gets started there, and that's historic there. So that's all that's there. As you can see, I started to do this one. I'm working on leaders right now and stuff. So I mean, actually ministers. I've already got the leaders done. I'm working on the ministers, so I can get it into
nice.
the game. So let's go back to the game. Let's look at here. Any specific country you guys want me to go into? Sure.
Can I just ask? I just joined recently.
Yeah. What we're going to try to
Does
do
this mean that Moravia or
like
Bohemia
here
will
we have
be like a
puppets,
puppet instead of
the British
the
Raj. Let's
core
go there.
or a next nation?
And the difference between we're using the puppet status for military districts. So you're still going to have puppets, but you're also going to have military districts. Military districts are going to be the conquered lands, the commissars and the GGP and Bohemia. Those were ran. They had a semi-autonomous, but they were under military control. Stuff. They differ from a puppet. Stuff. So like here, you can look at the Raj. Stuff, and
Right.
they're a puppet to Great Britain, to the UK. Now they can liberate one thing. They can liberate the colony of Burma, because actually the colony of Burma was subservient to the British Raj. Now, what differs between this puppet, same thing with this one, which is Indochina, and then you have Egypt, and you have Italian Libya, and you have the French Mandate of Syria and Lebanon. Those are actual full puppets. They can create military units and stuff like that, because that's what, they were just puppets. Now, when they take down here, there's another one called Italian East Africa, and it's kind of the same. Military districts like Germany had, where they took it, and you have the Czech in here. Stuff. Bohemia, this is the one, is the what we call PBN, Protectorate of Bohemia and Moravia. GDP comes down this way a bit. It goes up that way. It's these initially, and then it takes in these three stuff. They are subservient under military control, so they will have. They won't be able to build military units. They'll be able to do, or even research them. They'll be able to. Those are all locked. They'll be able to still do improvements, such as fortresses, even AA, inside their provinces, but they're not allowed to field any units. And the reason why is because this one had about 6,000 under arms, which were actually just police. This one was allowed 7,000, but it was just a little less than that they actually had on stuff, and they were just police and stuff. So, and your commissars are the same way. They were just military administrative districts on stuff. So, a little bit different. So, what it is. Yeah. The puppets have control over their territories.
So this is a kind
this
of
one's
new
British
mechanic that is
because this
slightly
is
different
Suez.
from a puppet
Suez
mechanic.
was British control still. So as you can see, the puppets, they have control over theirs. These, they will not have control. These start off in 39. The first one will be Bohemia and Monrova, or I forgot how it says. And then you got the GGP and stuff that comes in later in 39. They will have only control over their capital. All the other provinces will be they'll control, but they won't have cores on stuff. So that's the biggest difference. So that you have revolt there, a revolt risk in each different province, ran by the province, but you also have little militia units that they really had in real life. They were basically just police stuff. Nothing bigger than a rifle was allowed, and they can kind of keep law and order basically in the those areas stuff, and free up some German troops. But still, they're only militia stuff, and it doesn't really overpower Germany by giving corps to them stuff. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, now if Germany were to station troops in there more than just what a militia with the suppression value of a militia with police, and to put a division in there, well, yeah, that would probably lower that revolt risk down to where it would probably even turn it into green instead of a light pink. You know what I'm saying? And then then of course the IC goes up, the resources, everything, because you don't have less revolt risk in there and stuff. So that's the biggest difference. Yeah, the IC gets affected by that a bit too. So let me see if.
But what happened with the factories in these places?
They would
say like the
yeah, they're not going to
Works
get
that
directly
built
the
some tanks for
IC.
Germany.
They will still
Germany
get the
somehow
stuff
be able to
just like a puppet
access that IC,
where
or will
as
it
soon as you
be
hit 1,000
like
on your
locked on the
supplies, or
building?
1,000 on your oil, or 1,000 on your rares, anything above that gets exported out to your master. Still, that still happens. The IC still remains with the area, that government, that local government. So they don't get a full IC takeover. They don't get an IC takeover of that. Let me see if we can do.
I guess so. Just to say, in terms of supplies and money, for AOD, like puppets have never given that to their masters. So unless like you've changed that yourself, then that won't be a thing. Like the only thing puppets transfer currently is energy, metal, and oil and rares. They don't give money and supplies at the moment, or is that something you've changed
on them? Anything over that, if it's a puppet nation, it gets sent to the master. Obviously, unless it's overseas. Right now, that one is something I have to come up with and figure out a way. But we've always known that was an issue, you know, for overseas. Yeah. So you still and stuff. So they still, like the GDP would get this. They would still.
So you're saying you've changed that for money and supplies, sorry?
IC, but because they don't have cores, only on their capital, and actually GGP's capital is not Warsaw. I believe it's Kielce or Krakow, I think, or something. Then the IC is much lower because of the partisan activity. I keep on calling it revolt risk. Sorry, partisan activity would be higher in those, which actually lowers the IC a bit. And stuff. So that's the biggest difference on stuff. I thought I had a game. Oh, maybe it wouldn't play with. I was hoping I had a game where Germany comes in and knocks this out, and the country gets made. You know what? Oh, I don't have a 39 scenario. Actually, it's going to be.
How are these places created? Like,
if
is
you
it
look at the
always
revolt
by event,
tile, like, okay, I'm working on the Protectorate of Bohemia
decide not
right
to
now.
do that?
Okay, it's not going to be able to revolt, and it has to be a fascist government. So it basically limits it to Germany and Italy being able to do it. And it starts in January 39. Effectively, I think it was March the 16th, 39, is when this protectorate, by order of Hitler, was actually created. Stuff. So, and then I'll go to 45, and so during that time frame. But yes, it is an event that actually does it. This new file is called Administrative Districts. actually creates it. So let me go around that one because that's just the military. So if you look at Germany when they do that, okay, not using anything events dealing with the Molotov-Ribbentrop because there's so many different ways to go with it that and stuff. Therefore, it's just basically based on this because it's I don't want to tie it into anything like the Molotov-Ribbentrop pact has to call this. No, I don't want to do that. I want this to be able to stand alone without that. So what it does is it starts looking on the 26th of October when it actually happened. It was actually decreed on the 12th, but it didn't actually come into effect until the 26th. And then I give it 2 years in case, someone postpones the war with Poland or something. I don't know. But the game's not going to let you postpone it that much because there's those old events in there still that will say, hey, wait a minute, and stuff. I think Soviet Union will attack or something like that, Poland. It goes down, and then it will actually grant, as you can see right here, the AI will grant it. Now, these two actions, this will be, as if I'm Germany and I've pretty much taken Poland. Do I want to go ahead and set up the GDP, if like it was historically, or don't I? The human can pick that. Now, there is a 5% chance, and I can set that to 0 if that's what you guys want, that the AI will not release the GDP, and therefore Poland becomes provinces. The GDP won't exist, and those provinces will turn out to really harm Germany because they have to they won't get any of those militia units with police and stuff, and it will actually hurt them to have to keep troops there or just go and let the province risk rise. You know what I'm saying? So it is an event that actually kicks off using historical dates. Okay, and so basically, like I say, it's a 2-step process because it doesn't let you do independence and puppet in the same time. So when you do the independence, you pick it there, you only have one choice to be puppet. Okay, I'm going to be puppeted, regardless of what you are. Okay, and then in here, this takes the cores, remove all the cores. Since an occupying puppet government wouldn't be supported. So, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like a collaborative government. So, that's what this is. So, that stuff. And then this one just calls back to that. I was testing with this, giving it to the rebels. It doesn't matter. It doesn't go to the rebels. Yeah. So, this one's kind of just mute in here. But then, like I say, then I create the police, the actual forces and stuff. So, it helps Germany a bit, but kind of a double-edged sword.
Okay.
Yeah, with Germany. And then, so as you can see, I just kind of just copied the ones from here, and I just copied them down here, and this is the reason why I got question marks.
As much as that voice. Yeah.
These.
Yeah.
But here, theirs is not police, but actually, I think I got it up. The General Army. So, and this is where I was talking about where we have the flags, the different flags. I mentioned the flag of flag starters. PBM. Okay, so I have this one. So you can see the PBM. This one, when done in vertical, it'll be nice. That would be when you're selecting the unit. But we could also go with the white, red, and blue flag then for the units, but have this as the other flag. You see what I'm saying? So we could run 2 different flags with that country if we want to do that to be a little bit more historical with that. Obviously, I will take out that part right in here. That stuff. And I actually even have the propaganda. I cleaned it up a bit. And we can thank Espen for that one. Yeah. So you can see where I've done a bunch of different ones here. I've made the propaganda ones to be a little bit more.
So as
the way they should be.
main game, so to speak,
I mean,
you have
without
to take out the
swastikas and stuff.
swastikas.
So, well, it's just like that. This one here. I mean, if you. Okay, so if you look at this, you can see where I've actually put the Iron Cross in. That's kind of a go-to for me, using that instead. So here's what I did. So it's a multi-level. Yeah, I don't care. That's Germany. No, I'm just kidding.
But
yeah, it's a paradox. Yeah.
If you didn't do this, you can't sell the game in Germany, or what's the main concern?
Paradox wants to run the gauntlet on that and go through the German government and get all the stuff
Paradox
because they could do it, I guess, underneath the historic perspective. They're allowed to do that for films and stuff.
You can't do this.
Let them do it
in Germany.
This is, we're just a bunch of free people working for this, free and stuff. So it's easier doing this. It's just like, yeah, it's just like the German flag. Look at it here. Kind of looks like the swastika, but it's not. It's, So, and then if you look at this one.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm just curious.
The roundel that they use now on their aircraft and their tanks and stuff. It's just the cross. Not the Iron Cross, but the German cross. That one. Stuff. So I kind of. Yeah, go ahead. Go for it.
Can I ask you another question about the districts things? Because I'm just thinking, like, if you're playing and because it seems like the districts doesn't do much for you, like gameplay wise, other than you, like if you do it, it helps with keeping the descent down. But you don't get factories or
James,
I guess manpower from the provinces, so you kind of.
To do these, what's
pros and cons, and maybe the cons are like sounds like they are bigger than the pros.
Let me just say what I'm seeing.
Gameplay
jumps in is that the they don't have cores on it, so it's occupied province. The government that's running these districts, it is a semi-autonomous region, but under military control again, always under military control. But a civilian aspect to it, where a lot of these people after the war were spent time in jail for being a collaborator. But and so you're going to have these people that are not going to be happy that they're under German rule, but that they need to go to work daily, right?
If they were lucky, probably.
So the resources still go to the master. IC stays with those folks, so they can still build things and improve the provinces. They just can't build a military unit. The only thing they can build is actually militia, and that's limited by.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm thinking about. Like, if there is a way, or if I was playing or being in the historical context or whatever, if there is a
we could probably do some of that because
animation plants or
right
whatever.
Now,
I would like
Germany
to have that factory work for me,
so
I can take the benefit of this place I conquered or control.
I think, and this is old. That's an old event too. I think they get some tank stuff because of what's in Prague, and stuff, and the Czech government, basically the one we're doing, Bohemia, the Prague Protectorate of Bohemia, Movia, it's it actually though they weren't happy campers to be underneath German rule,
Yeah.
they were a big help to Germany's economy. That stuff. Yeah, yeah. I mean, nobody could even bomb them. I mean, at the beginning of the war, nobody could get to them because they're so far away and stuff. So it was pretty protected, but you'll still get
exactly.
that. I mean, you can have them. They could actually, and this is on basically the AI that we need to look at for these, is they could be a factor in getting some tech blueprints over and stuff like that. Basically, the big thing is it frees up your units to not have to be in that area. But I don't know, James. What do you think? He's up on more.
Certainly gameplay wise, it is a lot more con than pro compared to the current puppet system. But yeah, I think the focus is just to go more historical in that. And I guess for multiplayer games, we can always talk about it and maybe sleep these kind of events. But I guess it's really just to rein in the puppet system, which has really just been seen as a bit too overpowered. For like the online scene, like it's just silly that like the Nazis can just fully extract all the resources of say Ukraine or Belarusia or even France, and it's kind of just reining that in. I guess quite a bit is going to like the other end of the spectrum in the approach, but I guess in terms of making the game more interesting, it then makes players consider that maybe direct control over those lands is better than creating a puppet state. Whereas before, 9 times out of 10, you would just make a puppet state because the pros of it far outweigh any negatives. Whereas now it's a lot less clear cut. And certainly, I literally just checked just to say, like puppets only send energy, rares, metal, and oil to the master. But if Julie, you're able to edit it in where they can send surplus money and supplies as well, because that's never happened before on AOD. But if you can make that happen, then that would be great, and that would be a different way to reflect I guess the historical effect that like these military districts had, because I guess this is where I guess they probably avoided it before, where it's like obviously one of the big benefits was slave labor, but how can you reflect that in a in a game? But like in
what I
terms
was
of
thinking
supplies
for is
and money,
on some of the longer games,
that
if
would
someone
be
were to say
kind of
do
one
the
way,
game
because
just
if they can't build
longer
anything except militia,
stuff,
then
that they could turn
eventually
around,
they'll
and what
be
they
able to
could
build a lot
do
of
is they could
supplies that can be sent instead.
say someone's in 46 or something, all of a sudden you could have some events where it starts pushing back stuff to Germany and stuff like that. Stuff. Let me see. You see what I'm saying? Kind of as the stuff goes down, trickle some of that back. Let me see what I did here. I did do some stuff here with.
Oh right, yeah. I guess that was the intention, really. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Can I just, with the puppet, I think what you're doing now is much better than the current puppet system, but it just feels like it kind of goes too far, because if I'm understanding it correctly, I'm like, why do I even want Bohemia? Like,
actually, I didn't test it yet.
Policing themselves, and okay, I get some energy, perhaps.
Actually, I didn't test it yet, but I tried to give it to the
usually
rebels.
The real benefit is getting
and it
the
doesn't
industry.
do nothing. If you go into
if I
the
don't
save
get the
game
industry,
file,
why do I want
the rebels
Bohemia
don't have any
at all?
territories. Even though I
Like,
go in and give them cores and stuff like that. So what I was thinking of doing is I want to test it out, but if I remember correctly, right now I did it as Germany, but I haven't got to that point. I was fighting as Poland. I'm going to see if I can get it to what happens if Germany does set up the GGP and this part of the script runs. Instead of giving it to the Rebs, I give the cores to Germany. The problem I found in the past when editing modding stuff is that as soon as if you got an ally, which a puppet would be, that has cores that control provinces that another country in that alliance has cores on, and they don't have a core on that, the game will automatically change the province control to that country. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess a more of a middle ground could be found where, because I guess what I was thinking for this was that the military districts would still have cores over like all of the land that they historically did, but you would just maintain a much higher revolt risk. So there's a constant risk of partisans, and that would
to me,
again
the
eat at the
best solution
efficiency
for these military
of the
districts,
province, but not
and
in
like
so
I said,
much a way
if you add a
that
core, it takes
you're
a while.
probably just better off
It could be a couple
directly
months, it could
controlling
be a
it,
year
which
down the
is,
road
I guess,
in
what effectively
gameplay. But
removing
then
a
all of a
core
sudden, it's going to revert over to that.
would
It's automatically
do.
going to take it and give it to that country. What would be best is if, we release GGP, just like here, so you release the military district, and you give the cores to the master, but control to the puppeted military district. That would be the best scenario. The best I've found so far right now is not assigning the cores to that military district or like the GDP, and just not assign the cores to any country. And that's what I did right now. I was going to test this one to see if adding it to Germany, how long it takes for them to turn from the Polish to the GDP over back to Germany. Because if I remember, I'll have to test that out and see. Yeah, and find out what the deal is with that and see why. But if it works,
it would only be via like demanding territory, which the AI would never.
As you can see with the Bohemian stuff. But still going to test this out, and that's what this game's about. Where I loaded it up before war. That was before I actually attacked Lithuania and stuff. What happened was I did so many changes that when I brought the executable over, the save games wouldn't play well unless I edited them stuff, because I brought over new logic and stuff. So So I think Espen ran into that problem with one of them and stuff. So your save games won't play. So I was hoping maybe this one had that in there, but it doesn't. Shoot. Let me see. You know what? Let's try something. Oh, we're gonna have more here. Let me go ahead and pull that up so you guys can see.
Is the intention
okay? So what we're looking
at?
Oh,
is this
sorry,
a test thing that possibly in later versions you might add more regions which are treated this way?
Here we go. These are the ones that who came up with this list? I can't remember. Fabian, yeah. So what I did is I kind of went through, and it started with me saying, let's get rid of all these countries and give them actual tags. And they're basically countries that got their independence after World War II.
Yeah.
Stuff. So we come down in, so like Rhodesia, I had to fix it for something, but here. Like Austro-Hungarian Empire. We added that back in. We got the Orange Free State in. We've got Orange Free State, Austro-Hungarian. From here down is the new ones. Afghan's People's Republic, Federation Turkestan Ideal Ural Republic, which is actually, it lasted only a little while. This is Russian Empire. This is basically for someone that wants to do a World War I mod. The Kaiser is World War I. German Republic is basically the Weimar. Italian East Africa, we now have that. Greenland, we've done. It's fixed. Not just that, it's fixed. So the time Libya is done. Yeah. The Free French are in there. The tag exists, but it's not done. Yeah. Oh, the Cross of Lorraine. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, I always miss their flag because I know like early on, if it was just Hoi 2 or early AOD, where there was Free France and the cool, I don't know what you call it, Catholic symbol in the middle of their flag.
The French flag.
Cross of the line, do you mean?
Paton's.
Yeah,
flag.
So yeah.
And the Free French, the France will then switch over and get the Free French flag, which is the Cross of Lorraine. Also, too, the thing is also France should lose a lot of tech teams. So that's the reason why we did the FF, the new tag. The tag, because you can't rely on having your tech team out of Paris when Germany's sitting in it. So but go ahead.
Oh, true. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things I remember in one of you get with the current puppet system. You can have people doing things and supporting things which they wouldn't do at all. Like in the first game I played where I was backseat in Japan with Boney, the Germans
that's a lot of these you're going to see are going to be straight down the line.
Some nuclear tech with
because of their government type, but also some of them are going to be down the line based on setting stuff up. So if someone wants to do a World War I scenario or anything from 1890 up, they can. We're not going to do it. It's like the Free City of Danzig. Yeah, we'll do that one because that was during World War II. But that's not going to come in until and I've already put the code in, but that won't come into effect until 1114 when we actually have the map. Because right now you do the Free City of Danzig. Yeah, sure, I can give the Danzig project entire province to that. And Poland now doesn't have a corridor. No navy, no nothing for Poland. You know what I'm saying? So some of them are just kind of laying down laying down stuff. Basically. Yeah. It's the update's also about the 1.313 is also about trying to expose more variables and stuff, basically towards the mods. Kind of do some more exposing variables for them, giving them some variants, more tools, or countries, more realistic stuff. So as you come down now, we did like the European Community. Before it was something else. Let me see, what was it before? It was U00. Now it's EUC. Raj was U01. Now it's RAJ. Colony of Burma. Dominion of Newfoundland, Indo-Chinese Union, the French Mandate for Syria and Lebanon, Netherlands East Indies. Now that's a different one, and stuff. So it's going to be a puppet. It will be a straight up puppet for the Netherlands. Qatar, Kuwait, those were all different tags. Now they're more realistic tags. I'm kind of skipping these right now because these are all dealing with
Yeah.
I think this is up. James, where's this at? Is this up on the forum? I know that this Excel spreadsheet is somewhere where the people can see what countries.
Really small countries.
Yeah. Sorry,
Yeah.
I didn't mean to
So like the
sidetrack
state
you,
of Burma, the state of Burma,
Just asking
that's
the
basically the
question in
exact
terms
same
of
provinces as the colony of Burma, but the SOP, gotta love it. The state of Burma, it's,
I think you uploaded it.
a Japanese
Let's see if I
puppet.
can.
Empire of Vietnam
Yeah.
is basically French Indochina, Japanese puppet. So this is the one I'm working on right now, is the PBM. But then you also got the Second Philippine Republic. That was a Japanese public. This one is to go hit really quick. Is this one is where the U.S. gets divided up. Where's that at? I have a map of it.
Yeah.
So basically, this is going to be Texas.
Yeah.
So basically, you know what bitter peace is, right? So the bitter peace for Russia, where they break it up. Well, this will be kind of like bitter peace for the U.S. California, Texas, Confederacy. This will be I think it's what USNA or no, that's United States of North America. Yeah. This is the American state, I think. This becomes Heartland. And this one, I don't know what I was going to do. I was going to put it with BC, but it might become Heartland. Basically, it's the farm areas. Stuff. So I even did a flag and everything for it, so we're good to go for it. So it's, let me see. Yeah, there you go. That's a Heartland flag. And it's based off of that stupid, what was the series? I forgot. TV series where America became communist and they broke it all up or something like that. And stuff like that. So, but yeah, so, here's like Japanese East Indies. Okay, so that's it. I try to get as historical flags as much as possible. This is actually what Poland's going to be, the GDP uses for its flag. Actually, I should just. Yeah. So, anybody else have any other? Anybody else have any other questions and stuff? Like, kind of just. Let's just go into the map and go into shields and show you stuff. So, GGP is in here somewhere.
Sorry, I didn't mean to divert.
There's your Greenland flag, the new Nazi flag, but I also kept other ones in here, but no swastikas because this has got to be, and as you can see, the Free French one and stuff. My game, I have the swastika flag, okay? But this is not for that. Like, here's the Free City of Danzig one and stuff. So, there's some alternate. So if someone wants to change them up, they can. With Germany, I gave some alternate ones that they can change up and stuff like that. So where's GGP? It's definitely GGP. Shield GGP should be. Yeah, I should. Oh, there we go. Oh, wait a minute. GGP's, it's using that. It shouldn't be using that one.
It's there.
Oh, let me show you what the
Irish
flag
one.
is for that one. That is GGP.
Or gold something. Yeah, one left.
GGP, GGR, GGP. Oh, I switched it up. That's the reason why. But oh, I will just show you what I did with the. Actually, the Polish troops will be using this one. The GDP actually uses this flag. You can see the Bavarian one uses this flag. Stuff. So, let me see. Any other questions while I'm in the? Let me go ahead and go to this one. Let me see. I was going to see what I have for. If the options are in this one. No. Do I have a Polish one? So no, I don't have the Polish one. So this one's, yeah. So we'll go back here. Okay. I know, James, you had kind of a checklist you wanted to go down. What was the other things you wanted to look at? James? Yeah. I was asking you. I know that you wanted some other things. You had kind of a checklist you wanted to go down. Is there anything else you wanted to look at, or? Yeah, I know that we had this.
Tony, are you there?
Hello, sorry, was that me?
This one.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Oh yeah, like Espen had a list, didn't he, of stuff.
the China one. I know Espen had that problem. I looked at it, and it seems to be fixed now.
Oh yeah,
I went in
yeah,
and fixed
talking
that
about the
one.
puppets.
Okay, these I'm gonna do those. Those are next down on the list. I'm kind of just we guys talk about the countries. I'm kind of just going down through here. So I did this.
From my experience, it's not.
So
Oh, okay, that's good.
Yeah. Okay. And, the rockets. Yeah, you guys were talking about maybe adding some stuff in on the rockets. Is that what you guys were looking for?
I do. Yeah, and so I've just shared the list as well on the.
I can do it two different ways.
Like the 1.13 channel, as well. It was just where the opinion poll was, but I've just put it in the.
But I can also pull it up in here. Let's just use Great Britain again.
Whatever. Okay.
So we can use. So there we go. So we kind of got them side by side a bit. But you were mentioning about the rockets in this one. Have earlier text for rocks, like experimental rockets. So. Oh, okay. Yeah, because this is the one where I talked about where the flying bomb is going to have these are your aircraft rockets, that we're dealing with, kind of stuff. So. And then you have
this is like a 1.14 idea, really,
which will shoot off and create the sub-launch missiles. But also off the flying bomb, you're going to have another one that'll come out. That'll be for your missile destroyers. So, so the guided missile destroyers. So because we do have the DDGs, we do have the guided missile destroyers in here. So, but as you can see, we do have some in here that probably never happened, but I put them in just because like a nuclear battle cruiser. You know, pretty much the bigger ships, battle cruisers and battleships went away. You know, people just wanted the heavy cruisers and stuff, and the light cruisers and all that stuff. So, maintenance. Let's go to that one. What was the next one? 1930 maintenance. Okay, so this is the one where I think Esma brought them up, where we're skipping from 1918 to 36, 1918 to 36, 1918 to 36. I can add more. Yeah, I can add more in there. You know, we could do like we could put one in there or two. We could do a 1928. You know, not much happened on the military front on the
because
war
it's really
years.
just
So
like fleshing out
maybe
like a
1928.
pre-war World War One and then an interwar period for the tech tree.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, and gameplay wise, I'm not really kind of don't see the
I mean,
point.
I think there was a lot of fair amount of experimentation, but between that,
and also too,
fearing against
we
the
could do
future
that.
war
That's
and
easy
lack
enough
of
to do
funding
even
and
for
that,
1.3 because
you
the
tend
only
to
thing
get
we need to do is come in and hear and watch
something
this.
of a
So
conservative
you know you're
backlash
doing like
in
a
terms of new
TC
tactics and
occupied
doctrine until,
thing, but when you
unfortunately,
get up,
the Nazis
you need to say, okay,
they
I'm
had
doing
quite a few good
I can go to 100,
commanders.
10%, 10%, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, now I got 7, so I divide 100 by 7. I place them out across this. Well, if I add one more, now I'm going to divide it by 8, and I just got to go back in, and all I have to do is just update the numbers here. This is where I kind of need the help with you guys. I kind of just guesstimated here. Same thing with the shops, you know. I mean, task efficiency on a lot of these, your range is from point 1. No, your range is from 1.0, from 0.0 to 1.0. So like this, yeah. So multiply it times 100, which
That sounds like a percentage.
I can hear you. Can you hear me? Okay.
Oh, you're kind of cutting out at the moment.
Yeah.
If you're able to repeat what you're saying.
Can you hear me, Boney? We're still in. Is it
I can hear you fine. Oh, yeah, we started hearing you again,
so
Julie.
Okay. The big thing is,
if it helps at all, I got a kind of
watch for
orange circle with a black exclamation mark come up, and it's still there.
From 0.
So I don't know if that signs something getting a bit screwed
to 1.0,
or whatever.
And it's based on percentage.
Yeah.
So what you see here,
now,
when
anyway.
you see 0.05, it's the percentage. So that's 5%. And the way task efficiency works, I saw in the code, it is based on what the base value for that is. So like rebasing and stuff. It's based on the base value. So if you were raising rebase to 95%, it doesn't take 5% of 95%. It takes the whatever the rebase efficiency was when the game began, and it raises by 5%. Okay, so that's how that one works. So we would have to do something like that. So you got to kind of space these out and watch to make sure that you don't overgo 100, because it's not going to error. I mean, it's going to only let you go to that.
Mm.
So if I had
Right.
If I had 5
Yeah.
of these at 20 apiece, that's fine. If I had 5 of them at 22% each, it's still only going to go to 100%. You see what I'm saying? So I kind of need you guys to kind of look at that. The other one is the agricultural, because doing some relative manpower there stuff. We need to. It basically on your food, being able to have more people, you can supply more food. It's very little as you look at it. You're talking about very little. Some of them even go down. Let me see.
Yeah, I still don't really get the industrial manpower for
Then after
supplies.
that,
I don't
they
know
kind of
what
go
that
back
does,
down a bit. See,
if
I
anything.
kind of tried to do. These all need to be tweaked. This one is actually basically on the tricklebacks. Its main thing, but it has manpower too. So this one has manpower, so does this one. These both deal with manpower. And of course, torpedoes. These are just straight up researching your the torpedo brigades or the attachments. These are very expensive to do. Well, early refueling obviously is not, as you can see. Drop tanks. But then if you go to like the bomber tankers, now you're getting into. Because very few countries had it. You majors were the only ones that could even do them.
Yeah.
That stuff. And then that. So, as you really think about it, the one that has most of the tankers in the world are actually the U.S., but Soviets don't have that many. They actually use their own fighter jets. They can refuel other fighter jets. Stuff. I don't know about the UK. I know you guys got a couple of them. Stuff, but I mean, I live in Spokane, Washington. That's refueling. We have the air base here that's it's all refuelers.
Yeah, back in the 80s and 90s, partly because I used to work at a MOD site, there was the library there had a lot of literature on like NATO 15 nations.
Yeah, I'm taking my experiences because
so
I left in
way
December
more up to date with what
'96
Britain was
when I
doing,
retired
but
from the Marine. And
the last couple of decades,
there's a lot of
and
divisions
especially since
that
I
when I first came in
took VR,
are gone,
so
and those
I've only got the
divisions
vaguest
that
idea
after I
of what the
left
British
are
forces
gone.
are at the moment, apart from being
Stuff from the Army.
rather upset
Stuff. So
about
the
it.
U.S. is downsized quite a bit. They do that all the time. Britain, UK, U.S., France, we always do that.
Yeah.
We downsize after a big war and then get caught with our pants down when the war comes and have to build everything. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's reactive instead of proactive. Yeah. Troop ships. Let's talk about the troop ships. Like I say, on the tankers, that's the reason why they're so expensive and stuff to make. Because
it's
the
problem with the democratic system.
Tanker, look at
no, we don't want to waste money on weapons until.
Basically, what it does is it means you can fly anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
If you have this attached to your plane, to that air unit. So, this is the way the brigades work. The troop ships. You have 6 different types of troop ships. I believe only 4 merchant transports. That's a merchant transport there. 2, 3, and 4. Yeah, so you have 4 different types of merchant transports. The difference between a merchant transport and a regular transport, think of the transport as a troop transport. It can conduct amphibious assaults merchant transports can't. But merchant transports can carry more weight and are just a slight bit faster than troop transports. So if you have, and I've tested this with England and stuff, so if I have two troop transports and a merchant transport in one corps or one naval battle group or naval group, transport group, it will not be able to conduct an amphibious assault. If I had 3 transports in there, no merchant transports, it would. Okay. So, but what happens is basically the bottom line is the way that in 1.12 and before, the way that transports worked is it was a 1-to-1. If I have 1 unit, it needs 1 transport. If that 1 unit happens to be a militia, its tail takes 1 transport. If it's 1 armor division, it takes 1 transport. If it's 1 infantry, it takes 1 transport. Okay, so now what happens is it's still kind of a 1-to-1, but I'm actually using the transport capacity of the transports, merchants and the troop transports, comparing it to the divisions or the unit transport weight. So early on, in 37, you're not going to be able to transport troops, armor units. You're going to have to get to 43 to get a nice heavy armor unit stuff. And I've actually documented that in the files. So if you were to go to database, you just go to your units, divisions, transports, merchant transports. Oh, no, that's merchant transports. Sorry, I want the transports. So the naval transports. Is that the? Yeah. So when you come down here, you can see where it is. So like Great War will allow infantry, airborne, marine, mountain, militia headquarters, and garrison troops. So that's transport capability stuff. And then you can see how it starts to go up. Allows cavalry and light armor divisions for 1929. And then it goes up, keep on going up. Now, the reason why is because if you actually just go to and actually look at the troop transports and see the components, let's go to 26, 37, I think we get some. 37, we start getting the shallow draft boats, the LCT stuff. Landing craft for proficiency. Then you go to 40, and you're going to start to see that we got the reinforced landing craft hull, a recessed hull propeller system, which allows them to actually go in and land on the beaches. The propellers up inside the ship. Open bay landing craft, machine guns on it, open water assault ops. This is where you get to the tank, LSTs, landing ship tanks, landing ships.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, the way I described it to someone in the game is that if it's real early in the year and you haven't got up to
that would mean that
and researched it and built them, the best thing to do is have your force have 3 ships.
Have to capture a port or something.
3 troop ships, not merchants,
the channel.
but 3 troop ships,
and
with all your infantry or the units that can go on them. You can do light tank on them too. Then to have your medium and your heavy armor, have them still in the same sea province right off the beach, and have those in the merchant transports. So as soon as they land and that province changes colors, they win the battle, then all you have to do is tell that merchant transport, which is just in the next sea, in the sea province next to it, go into port. And boom, then you can still So but if you go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I kind of wanted to kind of
yeah.
make it a little bit more realistic,
And that would
but
also
not go way out and stuff like that.
that would
And-
also
and
reduce
the
the
biggest
sort
thing
of
for me
thing where
was
you sometimes get with experienced players
Paradox
in
made
single
these
player
transport
mode.
capability
Where,
and transport
where say
weight
Germany's invading
stats,
North America in
you
about
know, for the unit and
1939
for
or 40,
the
because they
the
simply
ships.
wouldn't have the tech
But
for a lot
they
of the
don't use
stuff.
it. They just go 1-to-1
Mm.
and stuff. Now, to bring that up, something that's really cool that you need to look. I think is pretty cool.
No.
Is when you go to the helo carriers. Let's go to. What did I do? Did I call it an LPH?
Didn't use them.
Helicopter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I call it helicopter. So when you go here, you can look at it. You'll see when we come down here to, and this is a carrier, you're going to see transportability. Ability to carry the new Marine Expeditionary Brigade. So it can have a CAG, which is an attack helicopter squadron, along with this maneuver unit, which is a new military stuff. But that one doesn't come in effect until, when is it? I want to say 43, but maybe be 45.
Yeah.
47. Yeah, 47. Marine Expeditionary Brigade comes in 47. Stuff. And it's an actual unit. You're going to see it designated as a Marine thing, but it's actually a brigade. So it's 1/3 the size of a Marine division, but it's also 1/3 the make. That stuff. But it can board the helicopter carriers.
Yeah.
And be transported just like a regular transport does. So yeah, so you could actually have your helicopter carriers do an amphibious assault. They're only going to do it with a Marine brigade, but if someone's stupid enough to leave a sea province open with a beach on it, you can land it there and stuff. No, you don't. I was air assault in the Army, and no, you don't. But that one's going to take a little bit more coding. I do have that set up, but we do have. Oh shoot! Let me just load the game with the test.
Actually,
No.
I
actually got that, so I kind of want to show you. We have a test then I did for the group, and we can go in here. Mighty Haiti is going to attack the world.
Yeah.
Stuff. Yeah. So look at the technology. They're going to have air cav and stuff. So
well, sorry, I don't mean to distract you.
You now have air cav that comes in, and you can have like an engineers to it and stuff like that. The air cav. Basically, you still need to do. Think of it like airborne. Airborne. I can create an airborne unit, but how does that airborne get into the battle? Travel. You need to have a transport. Well, same thing with air cav. You need to have your CHUH, cargo utility helicopter. And here's something. Escort fighters can be assigned to those to fly overhead. So CAS is really cool. You can have 4 attachments. You can have escort fighters. You can have air-to-surface missiles. You can have air-to-air missiles. And you can have an aircraft early warning system.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, as you can see, it's got a bunch of different things on there. So, it's a flotilla now.
Oh.
You want to make, here's your merchants. And these are your troop transports, as you can see that. Troop transports, you can actually add reinforced and camouflage. Germany builds a lot of them this way on its own. When I've been playing the game, it will actually build them with camouflage. And the reason why is because there's your visibility. Boom. If you really want to spend that much and do a reinforced hull, that's fine. But also your aircraft carriers. Aircraft carrier. That's your carrier air group. 1934. You can go with a reinforced hull. You can go with camouflage. You can go with the aircraft early warning system, and it also has an ASW one for later on. But you can see like 1945, even though don't worry about the date. It's just because, So you can kind of make them kind of beefy and stuff. And then you have your subs. I took the subs out, the heavy subs. I always thought that was a pet peeve of mine. I hated when you had to go down the subs and you could skip it for like one model, but if you wanted to go higher on models on subs, you had to go back and research the stupid 2 heavy subs. So I made them their own class. So if you want to do heavy subs, you can do them stuff, but you can also do just regular subs. This is your torpedoes, new brigade, and then you got your torpedo data computer stuff, which adds stuff. So if you go down through here, the other thing is you can never get your pictures to show up. It was hard coded. So now you can kind of go down through here. You'll see the pictures. If there's no picture for it, it'll just put the icon up. But you can do it's like 34 CAG. There's your torpedoes, spotters. Yeah, don't have all the pictures yet. Trucks, armor brigade. Oh, the other thing, armor brigade. Okay, you know how if you went into division, you could do a light armor, you could do a heavy armor if you researched it. Well, guess what? Why can't you just do a straight up regular armor brigade? Because they had them, armor brigades, So I created it. So now you can do just a regular. These are your main battle tanks, but it's only brigade size attached and stuff. And these are defaults. These all your attachments you can change. Headquarters right now you can go up to 3 attachments. So you can go. I can say, okay, my headquarters is going to have that. It's also going to have an engineer brigade. And I'm going to give it some light tank. And let's go to the tanks. Light anti-tank. Artillery bombardment. Tanks can do bombardment now. Artillery bombardment. Not a lot. 0.8. And if you were to take the regular where's the armor brigades down here, I think. Yeah, so if you take a regular armor brigade, it's 0.4 for the 36. And then if you go up to the artillery, they're a 4. So, it's like 1/10 or something, that stuff. But they could do artillery, but stuff. They actually just kind of, some of them we would even put them on the side of a hill so they could even get higher elevation. So you have that. You got different machines now. You got the observation helicopters and cargo utilities, transports. Let me see, naval. There's different attachments now for them. Pretty much went over that. Oh, you can go up to now 16 nuclear power, or not power plants, nuclear reactors. You can make 16 of them. And stuff with the new technology coming down here. I think this one gives you 16. Nice. Yeah, you should have seen me coming up with some of these things. It's like, I kind of went down timelines and basically and stuff and looked at stuff and
I must admit, I looked for a while.
Most of the army stuff, I knew where to go to get it.
Production
Stuff, information-wise. So, like your land doctrines now,
that's going to
take them all the way up. So now you can do like everything goes to C3. Then you jump down here and you can go to NATO. And if you look at the components,
Yeah.
these are all historically correct. Then I got attrition, pentatonic, which is more nuclear stuff. So you see all the nuclear stuff in there. Forward units, basically the major countries. Canada, UK, US. Basically, we had troops stationed in Germany, all three of those countries and stuff. Then you get the non-aligned. This is based on a lot of it's actually based on the non-aligned treaties organizations. It's a lot of the Indian and I forgot the other country and stuff. So you kind of go down through there. Yeah, Indonesia. That's the other, and Brazil is the ones I used. Yeah, that stuff. And then you got the Soviets, echelon, and then in '55 is when the Warsaw Pact came out and stuff. And then you have the Maoist side, and basically they're 1 and 2 and 2 and 1 kind of echelons. How they do that when they fight.
Indonesia,
so
I think Indonesia
Air,
and Brazil
one of
and
these
places like that.
I haven't done yet.
That was it. Yeah.
I don't think I've done desert. And I should have been able to do that one real easy because I spent more time in the desert than I did anywhere. So, jungle ops. Jungle ops I did pretty good. My jungle training was actually in Australia. Stuff. So that was an experience. Stuff. So, but yeah, looking up all the stuff to get the stuff, to be kind of. And there's still some that I'm missing, but you can come in here the technologies and get all these. The research took me a long time to get all this kind of stuff. So you got the oil, added this in. This uses that new one, the industrial modifier that raises the efficiency and stuff in places. So yes. Yeah. Here, let's just do this. So this is 1.12. Yeah, so now we can go kind of compare them side by side and stuff. We can go.
Yeah, for me, one of the most interesting ones is the light tanks.
Infantry.
Whereas, before, they would
There's
just go
your
extinct after
infantry.
1939, and then magically come back in 1943. But
the armor, artillery.
Yeah, here you've been able to make them relevant
stuff. You got this
throughout the war, and the same for cavalry as well. Actually,
yeah. See how early right here, this one would automatically upgrade to it would go to something like that one, and that's the code that I was showing you in here where it does it. The code does that. It's they put a hack in, so they and stuff. So that's what that other one's going to do for me is that crossover command is I'm going to be remarking this
to
out.
The 1939,
and then we'll just use that.
tank.
So basically, when you do it is for where's aircraft? So we'll take the tactical bomber. It's going to go to 55 turbojet. So what'll happen is in the effects here for the 55 turbojet, I'll have the new command. It'll be X over, which will be the one it's coming from, the model it's coming from, the one it's going to go to, and the model that it's going to go to, and then I can compare based on the files. I think I still have one of those open. I can compare the. Where's the upgrade stuff on this one? There's of course I pick a ship one that doesn't have that. There. Yeah, so it comes up with these. Pretty much everybody's got the exact same ones, but there are a few that I changed that were kind of smaller that will have smaller upgrades. But I compare them on stuff, and if they're the same, then it uses just the upgrade time and factor and upgrade cost to the one that it's going to. if there's a difference, then I look at the difference stuff. So, but that's
Is it
pretty much
miles
it. So
and
let me
stuff?
see. We got that. The maintenance, we can come in. So,
Yeah.
James, if you guys want to come up with some, just let me know. I can add them in. Because those aren't, again, they're not units. They're not divisions or brigades where we have to bump all that models and all the syntax, all the other stuff. That stuff. So, and then this one, I'm kind of, if we can get away with not having to do these, the only time I'm using these is, the only time I'm actually using the intrinsic government types and Revolt No that I've modded is the ones I'm doing right now for the military districts. That's the only time I'm using them. I'm kind of like, I think maybe James, you made the comment. I'm kind of like that way of, just leave it as it is. And if you release the country and you happen to be communist, it's going to go to communism. If you don't put these in. That stuff. This one, the regular ID, that can really screw you up on certain things. That stuff. But, that's kind of, to me, that's kind of a shortcut, so you don't have to use make AI files for it. Stuff. So, any question? Anybody else? I got the game open. We got both of these we can compare with. So
it's more just like the flavor. I think the counter argument.
Compare the different things. It's just the stats screens. Yeah. Well, the big thing is we're always looking for suggestions. Brigades for aircraft? Like you mean like the air right here? Or something like this?
Not really. I'm way out of my league.
Oh, okay. You're talking about the secret ones. So over here, let's go to the advanced.
Right.
Yeah. So you
can
see
you
where I
show the brigades for aircraft
made some
again?
changes here, made it wider so I can get my new screen in. But there you go. So like right here, the flying bomb, which is 1941. You could 43
I don't
Germany
know,
and the US
it
both
was
came up
rockets
with
or
some of these
something
stuff
like
this.
armaments or something you could add for aircraft. I think
stuff the unguided, just basically kind of shooting point and shoot. Then you'll have the high velocity rockets here, and then you had the radar guided and stuff. And then here you have unguided for air to air, stuff like that. Actually, there is, even with the, you look at the first Hilo gunship. There you go. It's Sikorsky. But you see this box here?
Yeah.
That actually is basically the same thing as what they did for, like this. So, yeah. That stuff. So, this one, just so everybody knows, this one, there's going to be more stuff to it. There'll be some more crypto in there and stuff for 1.4, but right now it's kind of, and like I say, more missiles, maybe some more nuclear down through here for like the weapons, because right now you just go to hydrogen and maybe make larger yields or something. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So I always just take people's suggestions and stuff. Yeah, the big thing I liked was the naval doctrines. Is by doing this, everybody can go down the carrier if you want to. If in 1.12 you had to take this center approach, and UK didn't take that. UK went down this way.
Well,
I think in terms of like deck
you
balancing,
would get some carrier stuff,
kind of like best done for like beta testing with.
Because I totaled
like
it up.
the
I went through and
large,
looked at all the different carrier efficiencies and stuff
going
like
through
this.
It all.
And stuff. And this one, the German one, crap. You don't get. Yeah, that's the only one that gives you any type thing for the carrier. Down here, I think there's 2 or 3. Down here, you got a crap load. So, Yeah. So going down this way, these are just kind of your basic start of the century stuff. You come over here. This is going to be your just your basic supremacy type stuff, and your sub stuff is down this way. Stuff both ASW and submarine types.
Yeah, base strike is just
down this way you have two
like
different
you'll always
ones.
go for it if
select
you can.
this one. This one's going to be closed to you. Okay, and then you come down. They come back into here, and then there. Then this one, if you're a major, you want to go down this way. Major or even a minor, probably go down this way. This is where you want to go. If you're a weak minor, say like Argentina, well, not I'm going to say Argentina or Brazil. Let's say Mexico or Sweden. No, I'm just kidding. You know, you want to go down this way. This is more talking about, you know, staying in close to the shores. 1.14 we talked about is we're going to get some smaller ships. We're going to be building some more smaller ships. You're going to have some PT boats or fast attack boats, and you're going to have coastal. Or in the earlier years, you're going to have some coastal battle cruisers and stuff like that, where they were more heavy armored, but not meant to go blue water navy. You know what I'm saying? Stuff. So what we're trying to do is basically a major's going to kick a miner's or a non-miner's butt making on the seas. But what it will do is it will allow it will make that major or that minor attacking a non-minor, at least that country, small country like Mexico or something like that, would have a navy that could, you know, it's going to be a DIP mission, DIP. It's a die in place mission. It's so it's a term we use in the Army. DIP mission. You get one of those, it's like crap. It's like, you know, when you see a nuclear explosion go off and you hit the ground, you start counting from the flash to the bang you get to detect how far away you are. And you report that stuff up to the command. If they come back to you and they tell you go towards the blast, it means you were already in a downwind area.
I thought it would be something like that.
You're basically dead. You already taken so much radiation, so they're just sending you to go collect some more data. Stuff. So it's a DIP mission. Yeah. So basically, they can go out there. So basically, a major or a minor with a good, powerful navy will be able to land. But now they're going to have to fight. You know.
Yeah.
Actually, like here, like for this one, if you come down here, if you look at the effects, this one, all this means is it's going to deactivate this tech. So this one, we're on indirect approach doctrine. You can see that the camouflage and naval interdiction and the battle cruise is what it gets for the values.
What's the difference? You said a top doctrine on tactics. You have choose left or right. What's the difference between them?
A little bit more on some of the other ships. Fleet and being, you notice it's from the battleships. Doesn't have so much carrier. Let me see. Battleship is 0.1. Battleship. Yeah, this one, the fleet and being, this is more of, think of it like a battleship task forces. So you notice how the numbers are stuff. But once you decide here, then you got to go down through these. Probably another good one to go through and kind of show a better difference is land doctrine. So you go to land doctrine. You got the 1890 land doctrine. You got to do that. Then you got to go to here and here. You get your choice. Or here, it's called top-down leadership, and if you look at the components, strict adherence to orders, think more like Soviet-type stuff, centralized execution and stuff. And if you look at the effect, the morale and the land is the biggest things, but also the occupier. Now, the other one is you can take this route, which is your NCO leadership, well, your leadership initiatives, where it's not controlled from the top. So someone that's actually in the battle, fighting, shooting down range, can have some initiative. Whereas this one is, nope, you're going to do what I say at the time I say it. And this one is a little bit different. So you got the non-commissioned, the NCO initiatives, you got platoon and company commander initiatives, battalion, general officer initiatives, and stuff like that. But if you look at the effect, its organization and land morale is, both of them have same max organization, but the morale is going to be different. And the attrition mod is going to be a little bit different and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay, then you go through these four, and then you got another decision you need to make. So this one would have been World War I's Germany's side, where they do a concentrate forces offense, and they do a defense. Then you got the defense in depth. This is more down the Allied side,
Yes.
UK side. Then you got to come back to the combined arms. Then you go do another 25 Army. Now, then you start to come back to the ones that you see. So these here are what you saw before. No change. But then after the war, that stuff is where you come into your non-aligned, your NATO, your Soviet, Chinese. And then you got your urban ops with its components and effects, special ops, with its components, unconventional warfare type stuff like that, your mountain ops, high altitude stuff, and what it does, you see, and stuff like that in the jungle. Army air is usually a prerequisite for your helicopters. So for this one, I think. Oh no, Army air is a prerequisite. Sorry. There you go, for your air assault. Army aviation, basically the rotary wing stuff. So to do this one, you have to have both the cargo and utility helicopters. You got to be able to get them there, and you also have to have the Army aviation, and then one of these. So last stop. So that's how that one works. So what else? Trying to think of. Any other questions? Because as you can see this is what we can release. I can go through that, but production, the brigades we covered. ASW, nothing new there. Oh, this is ASW plane. No, this is just ASW. These are capital. We got to get down a little bit farther. Sea mines, spotters. There's your rockets, unguided. Artillery rail. That's another one. There's a lot more artillery rail now. AEW aircraft. There's two of them. The reason why there's two with the same ones is this is an air unit. This brigade can be attached to air units. This brigade can be done on a carrier. Yeah, because how it works, it's got to be air, land, or naval. So, that would be back to here. Oh, another thing is naval is cruiser carriers. So you have the first. Yeah. So you do have these cruiser carriers, and
yeah.
Japanese had a bunch of them, yeah. But let me see. Cruiser carriers, where are they at? Heavy cruiser carriers. God, I don't even know what I call them anymore. There we go. I'm going to open a notepad because it's easier. It's better to see. So you can see where I've actually put the links in. So this one, it had 8 seaplanes it could carry. This is the first one. It was Sweden. And they had it. And they still launched them from the catapults, the small catapults, and retrieved them
yeah, because the Japanese
they didn't have picking up. Then you've got the first Japanese one in 34, and it could carry 14. Then you have another one that was done that could carry 6 float planes. This one carried 22 seaplanes. It was actually a battle cruiser, a battleship, a battle cruiser, 1941 battle cruiser. It was actually
landing at sea and being hoisted.
And the links are in there, people and stuff. So it gives you that. So when you go into your air ones, aircraft. Well, actually, the first ones, the CAGs, this one, and then you have this one, that one. You can see the flight decks there, and then this one, you can see it had additional radar, a full flight deck. It actually had underground storage for it and everything. That stuff. So they basically took the rear turrets off. Yeah, and they used them. They used them for their scouting, for their task force.
Yeah.
I think this one was even a flagship for the Japanese stuff for one of their task force. But so when you go down, you'll see that the fact is you got a tag there.
That's something I've seen mentioned in discussion on a naval site
and
I've been
another
involved
cruiser
in
carrier
where
a cruiser, then a cruiser carrier.
Seem to put more of the carrier forces for actual combat, with a lot of the scouting being done by seaplanes from the cruisers.
I think 34.
Yeah.
And then the cruiser carrier tags start to come down in through here. Yeah, there you go. There's 145 and 42. So, the ones that didn't match up with the years of the actual ship, I moved them over into the float planes here and stuff. So, let me see. So, computers. Much more of everything. Big thing is I took that overall one that they had and split it into 2: statistics, and you can see that it goes by, so this will tell you what your overall army strength is, your army organization's at, what the morale is, how many corps you've got, how many units you've got, kind of stuff. This one breaks down the units. So you got the Army units, you got the Navy ones, and air. And as you notice, all the new ones are in here. SSH is just a heavy sub. SSB, diesel electric ballistic, nuclear fast attacks and ballistics and stuff. And you can kind of go down through here and stuff. Only time you'll see something underneath user brigades is if someone actually mods one of the user brigades. So files. So if any of these are used, then all of a sudden you'll see it pop up on the list here. But none of them being used. I cleared all those out too. So, shoot. If you want to see countries, Let's go ahead and roll out this too, and we'll go to diplomacy here. And so let's go back down to, we got to come down to about here. Yeah. So from here on down, so now you got the Orange Free State, Austro-Hungarian Empire. So let's say. So I can actually turn around and do this to now. So if a modder wants to come in, they can come in, and the countries exist for. Yep. And then we can kind of come down. I'll just do the next one, which would be Russia's.
Yeah.
So you can start to see is we've got the World War. Yeah, and if I were to do France, you would even see that France.
Like a German Reich. Yeah.
Is not going to get. Yeah. So and here, once we get the newer map in, Trenton, you'll have the little Tyrol coming in like that, you know. So I mean, you have.
You can get the basis for a World War I scenario. And
this is 1.13, an older version, but it's come on. So yeah, so you can go in here and
Alsace-Lorraine.
there's a few things, but because I didn't spend much time, I spent like 5 minutes on this. There we go.
Yeah.
So my recommendation for this map is I know some people say make it lighter. I like that idea. But the province borders is kind of thick. They tried to make it look like a raised thing. I think just keeping it the way it is with the just the dotted line, so it's not such a predominant feature. You know, but as you can see, you can zoom in. You have Danzig stuff. And much more different provinces. Also, notice the rivers are a little bit bigger. So in 1.14, we're going to start to take the rivers and chunk them up into pieces so they're like provinces. So yeah, the Elbe, you might be able to cross in one place easier than you can the other place. The structure's already there for it. So but yeah, so this is So let's go back down. Yeah, I blew it up. Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah, Estonia. Yeah, it doesn't get much. They get. Oh, why? Yeah, Estonia should be part of Russia. Yeah, Finland. Yeah, because this should be the Russian Empire. This should be, we're talking 1914 probably. So this is 1914. This should be there. Finland didn't exist in 1914. You come down, you'll see that Germany's got its provinces and stuff like that. Like I said, it's
this time period.
So we got to do that. Also, too, the other thing that's going to be missing from Germany right now in this one is you should be able to. None of their African colonies. So they should have East Africa. They should have Cameroon, Southwest
That's what I was
Africa,
thinking.
Togoland, I think, up in this west and stuff like that. Yeah, you do have those in our new in the 1.13. You can release them. So if Italy does get down this way, and
No.
it looks to see if anybody in the Axis owns it, not just Germany. Then Germany will be asked if they want to take it back over as a colony and stuff. So the chance of an AI is 5%, but it does prompt the user. So if a German human player is Germany, they can go in and say, okay, I want to go ahead and release that. That stuff. That's available to do it. Stuff. Yeah, and stuff like that, because then we'd also have to give back Germany the islands that Japan got, because Japan was on the Allies. We got to do stuff like that. But I kind of just wanted to get the countries in there. So if someone really wants to mod it, because they can come up with their own revolt file and do that stuff, then they got it. But I don't think too many personally. I don't think I wouldn't do it. And
if it was getting down there in World War One,
came out.
Unless it's changed, it's
because
actually on the opposing side. But
with a new map.
I get what you mean.
And all the different new provinces. Because that's a bear to redo all your provinces and stuff. So you can see.
And it's
how it goes. Other countries you can do is that we added in. You do have Greenland, Italian, Libya, Kuwait. There you go. Japanese, East Indies.
Yeah.
Truncal states. Yeah. Reform government of China. American states. Oh yeah, we could do that. Let's go to CSA. I think we got to go to Texas first. So we want to do Texas and then California. So here's California, I think. Goes up to, we can do that one. And we can do Texas. I'll find it. I just got to kind of go by the flags. Confederate states. I need to do Texas first. Yeah. And stuff. And what it'll do is it'll make the. Okay. So it'll do the map that we need. So, because if I were to do the Confederacy, it's going to take even Texas. So. But I do like the other map because it does go more with the state outlines, but it seems like, well, I know why they did it, because that's where the battles were. Look at the size of the provinces here in Europe and North Africa. Now go over and look at China. As soon as you get outside China, you're back to big provinces. And now you look at Mexico, U.S., poor Canada. Geez, look how big their stuff is. So it does add a bit more provinces, a little bit more realistic stuff. So, anybody got any questions or stuff? I mean, I think we hit everything, didn't we, James? Yeah. Yeah, and kind of show you what I'm doing. This is my list that we're dealing with. So this is where I got to update those columns. So I'll try it one more time, but I was in the middle of upgrading something, so we'll see if this one, it might work underneath this one, but there ain't much there.
Yeah, I think like the biggest changes are like the technology.
So
tech tree, and then the hard coded changes.
So you can still see I have things on the list
implemented.
But some of this is 1.14 stuff that I'm just going to kind of add to the code. That is just code stuff, just to add in. stuff, so that when 1.14 comes, doing the files and all that other good stuff. So I think probably the biggest change is going to be the map and different type of research types. So you'll have offensive tactics, defense, armor focus, bomber designs. I don't know about these. I just think aircraft design is more than enough, but these are things that this is kind of just a big list that people gave, that someone mentions it, I throw it in here. So, Army engineering, I can make sense. That would be better than just regular engineering. I don't know about vehicle engineering, computer science would be a good one. These two, maybe combine them. You know what I'm saying? And there is nothing right now, So, but like I said, this is all just throwing stuff together, just throwing notes in. So,
yeah, I wouldn't go
actually,
too far into the rabbit hole.
You see, I haven't done a lot of them. I'm actually going to add 15 user divisions. Right now, the way AOD is set up, I don't want to do what Arcus Hour did, because they did a lot of coding to do that, the way they do their divisions. This way, because the way the preferences are set and stuff, and everything, and all hard coded in the code and stuff, I was going to do 5 land unit divisions that they could do, 5 air unit divisions they could do, and 5 naval units divisions that they could do. You see what I'm saying? Stuff, because the icons are totally different. So, actually, I think I have it in the game. That's the auxiliary ones. Oh, the division ones. I forgot where the divisions one's at. I think it's somewhere else. Interface. Beach. This is your beach. Yeah, what the heck? We looked at that and it was... Didn't I just look at this and it was for the GGP? And I had the Nazi flag, like GGP. So let me see. There it is. No, so yeah, I have the right one. So there's a GGP. I must have been looking at a different thing for games and stuff. So there's your GGP for that stuff. So okay. Hear a lot of beeping, so I just need to go and look here real quick here, see what we got. Yeah, I just kind of want to see. So, all right. Okay, yeah. So. Yeah, you can. Yeah, I've done a lot of code stuff and I remark it out so that we can do it. But like I said, I come in here and if I come across something, I'm going, wait a minute. Oh, I need that later on. I add a note to it on stuff. So I have like a whole list of these. Yeah. Yeah, so like a tech mouse over. I'm working on one where you just put your mouse over the tech tree. And it pops
I was going to say, I've done a lot of good work. Everyone has worked on it.
Some of these are a lot older now, and stuff that I don't need. Stuff. So, one thing we should show is, let's go into one with. Let's just take 36.
Seeing it like this shows how much of a massive project it's been.
So,
Yeah.
So I go in here.
That's
if
awesome.
you notice how the pictures moved over now, probably the best thing. Let's just go up here. Oh, let's pick a big one. No more of the little brigades that were coming in doing this and then this and then this and then this, and you couldn't even see the picture of the unit. So I moved it over. You have this here. Moved up this. Added some more stuff in there. Another thing is when you click on an airborne unit, we don't have any right now. These icon buttons, like so, when you click on here, you'll see the buttons have been rearranged. These have been moved up. Okay, these have been moved down. The reason why is because when you go to click on an airborne unit or an air assault unit, you couldn't get to the button, offense button. So, yeah. So if you had an airborne unit that was that was going to board or transport, you couldn't get to this button. So now you can. Stuff. So that, and then of course I needed to make new buttons and stuff for the air assault folks and stuff like that. So, and so like I said, you got. God, I thought I had the division somewhere in here. Maybe it was under front end or something. I can never remember. I always end up going through the whole dang thing looking for the auxiliary stuff. So here's, like, this is your brigades. So as you can see, you got your 20 brigades over here. So if someone wants to add them, they got to come in and edit this. But this is all your brigade icons. So that stuff. That's ASW. It's the heavy aviation cruiser CAG, AEW, ASW, and stuff. So I was hoping maybe to find something like that. One thing I did do is notice all these detail ones now. They're all done. So like when you do naval doctrine, if I were to go in and do a technology and do a naval doctrine.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's just do this. We'll just pick anything. We have the background there. I added this over. So it gives you the estimate date when it's going to be finished. That stuff. So you can do like aircraft. You got your, the screens, these backgrounds for the screens, they can all be redone. So you go in here. Let's get down to those. Oh, there's your air assault button. They're usually down pretty far here. Let me see. Esmond's going through, been doing a lot of picking up colorizing things, the photos. I changed out the land navigation ones. So like your desert, that's the desert one now with an oasis. That's the old one. This is the new forest one, new hills one. New jungle one compared to the old one. New mountain one compared to the old mountain one. New sea, new swamp, new urban. That stuff. Let's see. Come on, where the heck? Okay, here we go. So, the way I did this is you still have your tech tree. So you got your tech tree air doctrine. But then if you go down, you'll look at, let's just take the first one we get here. Tech tree aircraft. You got the tech tree aircraft, just straight blue. This is the default one. So there's the actual one, tech tree aircraft.bmp. If I were to then delete that and then copy this, and then take this and copy it over and rename it just tech tree aircraft.bmp, you would have just a solid blue background. You'd have, or you could have this camouflage, or you could have that camouflage. Same thing with the armors, industrial. You know, some people just like prefer the regular gray ones. I am going to add into the code so that when it does do this in the graphics, skins. So let's say you go into skins and you're doing Australia. If you don't have one of the backgrounds, one of those backgrounds I just showed you in here, then it's going to use the default one. But if you do have one with the new backgrounds to them, then that country you use it. So instead of seeing the Americans marching through Paris, you know, you could have, if you're free French, you could have the French moving through, or if the Germans, you could have the Germans. And here's the killer. I have this new mod support. Go into templates. You have an event template. You open it up and look at all the different sizes you can do. So you just plop your picture in here. Depending on the size of the picture, you have all these different ones you can do. You on stuff. You know, so there's that, and there's so you got those templates. You got the leader minister one, which is very simple. It's just that one. Models. You have this one. It's kind of the same way. It has different size frames you can do. You just put the picture in there, and it'll frame it out for you. What's the next ones? Other screens. Here you go. Yeah, you can even do these if you want. On stuff. So, and they're all, you know, just different layered and stuff. So I figured, you know, I had to make these to make it much easier for me to do stuff. You have policy ones in here. Summaries. These are your summary screens. Here's your text. Yeah, and here's your text pictures too, so you can do different frames for your text pictures. And you can actually even move the paperclip, because I hated that when you put a picture in and then the paper clips over someone's face or something. I can just go up here and go and move the paper clip out of the way and stuff. And stuff. So, you know, stuff like that. And then you got your technology screens here. So, like, you can come in and do, where's the advanced one?
Yeah, the game looks so much better in color.
So right now it's that, but if I wanted to go ahead and do the Apollo Soyuz, I can do that. Or I want to do a UNIVAC. But also, people can just change these out and put their own backgrounds in. Stuff, because I already got the lines and everything done. And you can do cloth patterns and stuff like, oh, wait a minute, I didn't want to do that one, but where we got an armor or infantry. There we go. So, yeah. But yeah, so you know, so I basically put stuff in that directory. So mod support, you'll have the counter makers in there. The editor is in there. They'll have other stuff that will support, so it makes it easier for people to mod and stuff. So there'll be a modding PDF in there that'll kind of go through the steps to use stuff. Okay, anybody else? Because it's for me, it's 2.5 hours past my lunch.
Anyway, I'll be calling it a night now. Thanks for the information.
Yeah, no. If anybody's got any questions,
it's getting a bit late here, so
yeah. If anybody,
not as young as
it's warm. Yeah, you guys take care. Anybody else have any questions before I go ahead and close out on this? If you do, kind of just jump in the comments here. I watch both the Skype and the Discord, and I check only the AOD forums in the morning.
Yeah.
stuff, but I do check everything once a day. So if you got any questions, just kind of do it there. So how you guys doing? You guys good to go?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now I'm gonna go ahead and
It'd be
close out. You
tempting
guys
if
take
it
care.
wasn't so late
Have
and so
fun.
warm here.
Oh,
Anyway,
not a
good
problem.
night.
Thanks.
Okay, good night all. Bye. Yep. Bye.
Yeah,
You
thank
too.
you for hosting. Yeah, thank you. Bye. Yeah.